So it looks like we might know exactly why the newest member of the Real Housewives of New York reboot left. And it wasn't only because of the anti-Semitic comments that she was receiving from the Bravo universe. Apparently, her husband allegedly used the N-word when recounting an incident. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So, as you know, away. However, there are a couple of stories that I saw yesterday that a lot of you were asking me to talk about. There will be no Tuesday takeover, but I will be talking more about some of the shows that we love to watch in separate videos, more than likely. And shout out to our new Kempire Senior Royals membership tier. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Click the join button if you're watching this from your computer, or head on over to TheKempire.com/join so you can check out our memberships. So Lizzy Savetsky, as I said to you before, I was actually surprised that this particular new member of the cast of the RHONY Reboot was leaving because she had tested in Dallas. They were considering her for Dallas, and then they moved her over to the New York reboot. As you know, the reboot, rumors are saying that the reboot is not going well. So the news of her leaving abruptly as the season has just begun was also a sign that things aren't going well. And I've seen all of your comments. A lot of you are like, who is she? I don't care. Why are they doing this? Bring back the OGs. I'm still excited about the RHONY reboot because the biggest star is our city, New York City. Just saying. And we've been saying for many, many years that the RHONY that we've seen, although I've loved it, it wasn't reflective of the city. Even back then, New York has been diverse a long time. But we know NBC, Bravo, whatever. But after the announcement of the new cast, there were a lot of anti-Semitism, so much so that Andy even commented on it that week on his social media, saying like the amount of anti-Semitism that's coming out after this announcement is ridiculous and really odd. Okay, so now Page Six has the exclusive. As you know, we reported about Lizzy leaving the show, and she said in a statement that the reason why she was leaving because since the announcement of being on the reboot, she relieved a lot of anti-Semitic comments and just backlash. But at the time of that report, I had heard that that wasn't the only reason. It was something that happened on set. Well, now Page Six is reporting in their exclusive that apparently her husband, Lizzy's husband, used the N-word when recounting an incident. Let me just go through this with you guys so you have an understanding. So, a brand new member of Bravo's revamped, racially diverse Real Housewives of New York City left the show after her husband allegedly repeated the N-word on set while recounting a discussion between two of its stars. Okay? Last Wednesday, we reported that Lizzy Savetsky had left the show before she even wrapped her first season, saying that she suffered a wave of anti-Semitism. But that was only part of the story. In her statement, she says, from the time it was announced she was joining the cast, she said, I was on the receiving end of a torrent of anti-Semitic attacks. As this continued, I realized that this path was no longer right for me and my family. And while we heard that there was more to the story, production insiders downplayed other drama beyond the online bullying. Convenient for them, all right? Convenient for everyone involved because they didn't want... This is part of the reason... Okay, I'm going to take a sidebar. This is part of the reason why we're getting a reboot. It wasn't because of the failing ratings. Yes, the ratings were not great for RHONY, but not so much so for them to completely kibosh the entire cast and start anew. They don't want to do things like that. They did it because they didn't want to answer for Ramona's insensitivity to the anti-Black statements that she was making and the anti-Semitic statements that she was making. Okay, I have Jewish friends that were like, I can't watch Ramona anymore, especially after this last season. She was ridiculous at that woman's home, Ebony's friend. So they continue, said, now it turns out, in fact, that things went off the rails big time a few weeks ago while Savetsky was filming a scene with her co-star, Brynn Whitfield, and it got worse from there. So we're told that Whitfield asked Orthodox Jew Savetsky This is page six's term writing, just an FYI. Sometimes they're just very insensitive on how they write things. She said the Orthodox Jew Savetsky, who has a reputation as a matchmaker, if she set her up with a Jewish man. But Savetsky said that while she has no problem with Jews dating Gentiles, she prefers only to set up Jews with other Jews, according to sources. So she added that the Orthodox Jews favor marriages between Jews to preserve the ethnic lineage. We're told that she explained that Judaism is not just a belief system, but also a people. Sources say that Whitfield felt affronted and said something to the effect that Savetsky's terminology sounds like that used by the, quote, horrific people, meaning Nazis, who did evil things to your people, would take, which shocked Savetsky. I heard these rumors too. According to multiple insiders, the tension caused by the scene led to an off-camera phone call between Savetsky and Whitfield, during which they discussed the power of racial slurs. We're told that Whitfield, who's half black, used the N-word during the call, but rather than using the term N-word, she used the word it represents in full. We're told that Savetsky got the impression that Whitfield planned to tell other cast members that Savetsky also used the N-word during the call. Okay, I hope you're following here. So she had a fear because that Whitfield used the N-word during the call that she would say that she used the N-word. Something's missing in that story. All right. Sources say that Savetsky's husband, Dr. Ira Savetsky, was outraged and reported the alleged incident to show's producers. But we're told that when he recounted the call, Ira also said the actual word rather than saying the N-word. I can't tell you the amount of times that we've covered this before. Even if you're not using it in a derogatory way and you're trying to retell a story. No. The politically correct thing to do, the right thing to do is the N-word. I don't even use the N-word like that. We hear he later apologized, but the damage was done, and we're told that's when, quote, conversations began about the pair exiting the show. Okay, insiders were keen to point out that Savetsky really did also experience an overwhelming volume of anti-Semitism online, and that the N-word incident alone was not the sole reason for her leaving the show. And look, we covered that too. When this was announced, I had saw Andy's response to it on social media, but even before that, I saw people that I follow, people that I see comment on this, talking about the amount of anti-Semitism that was coming out since the announcement. So the episode is something of an irony, they report. Before the last season of RHONY, the network had been getting heat because of its all-white cast. In an attempt to readdress the issue, producers added the show's first black cast member, as you know, Ebony K. Williams. But the experiment ended in disaster when Williams accused a fellow cast member of racism, sparking a major third-party investigation that effectively ended the show as we know it. So here's the thing, and I said this before when we covered Lizzy leaving the show. I said, this is karma for Bravo. This is karma for NBC Universal, because instead of actually dealing with the situation at hand, they wanted to kibosh it. They wanted to erase it and pretend as if it didn't happen, instead of really going at it and having the conversation with Ramona, doing what they needed to do. They would rather save the conversation and sugarcoat the conversation and start anew and think, we'll do a whole, diverse cast. Yeah, you can't do a whole diverse cast if your intention, life is about intention. If your intention is to sugarcoat, to blindside, to cover up, your intention is not pure. It's not, this is what we really wanted to do. No, your intention was to, let's give them what they want so we can avoid everything that's going on over here. And now it's blowing up in your face. I don't know if they're going to be able to salvage this new cast. This is starting a whole new situation. It's going to be hard, especially with this being the first time that they're ever doing something like this. But I wish them luck. And I knew that there was more to the Savetsky story, but I didn't realize it involved the N-word, and I didn't realize it involved her husband. I always find it interesting when these words are able to easily roll off people's tongues. because it doesn't roll off my tongue that easily. And I'm Black. Guys, as always, I hope you're having a fantastic holiday week. I know slowly but surely we are getting into the holiday season. As always, I want to have this conversation below. Are you excited about the Real Housewives of New York reboot? How do you feel about Lizzy Savetsky leaving and there being apparently a lot more to the story? Let's have that conversation in the comment section. And as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.